To maintain your independence, you must always be needed and wanted. The more you are relied on, the more freedom you have. Make people depend on you for their happiness and prosperity, and you have nothing to fear. Never teach them enough so that they can do without you. The ultimate power is the power to get people to do as you wish. When you can do this without having to force others, when they willingly grant you what you desire, then your power is untouchable. The best way to achieve this position is to create a relationship of dependence. The master requires your services. He is weak or unable to function without you. You have enmeshed yourself in his work so deeply, that doing away with you would bring him great difficulty, or would at least mean valuable time lost while training your replacement. Once such a relationship is established, you have the leverage to make the master do as you wish. It is the classic case of the man behind the throne, the servant of the king who actually controls the king. Do not be one of the many who mistakenly believe that the ultimate form of power is independence. Power is a social game and involves a relationship between people. You will always need others as allies, as pawns, or even a weak king, who will serve as a front. The completely independent man would live in a cabin in the woods. He would have freedom, but no power. When others become dependent on you, their need for you sets you free. You enjoy a kind of reverse independence. The weakness of making others depend on you is that you are to some degree dependent on them as well. But trying to move above that point means standing alone, depending on no one, driving out all competition and cornering the market. No such independence comes without a price. You are forced to isolate yourself. And monopolies often turn inward, and destroy themselves from the internal pressure. They also stir up powerful resentment, making their enemies join together to fight them. In truth, interdependence remains the rule, while independence is the rare, and often fatal exception. It is best then to place yourself in a position of mutual dependence, and follow this critical law of power, rather than look for its reversal. You will not have the unbearable pressure of being on top, and the master above you will in essence be your slave, for he will depend on you. Keep in mind, no one will come to depend on you if they are already strong. If you are ambitious, it is wise to seek out weak masters, with whom you can create a relationship of dependency. You become their strength, their intelligence, and their spine. Remember, necessity rules the world. People rarely act unless compelled to. So you must create a need for yourself. If you make others depend on you for their welfare, and then counteract their weakness with your own strength, you will thrive. To get rid of you would spell disaster for your master. You will have all the benefits of power, without the thorns that come from being a master. There are many ways to obtain such a position. Foremost among them is to possess a talent and creative skill that simply cannot be replaced. This is the best method, because you don't have to rely on any one particular master. You rely on your much sought after skill. You need a skill that sets you apart from the crowd. The best situation then would be that you have several possible replacement masters who could use your services, while your own master would find it hard, if not impossible, to replace you. You need to make your skill indispensable. If you are not actually indispensable, then you need to make it appear as if you are. So cultivate the appearance of having highly specialized knowledge and skill, so those above you think they cannot do without you. Another way to create a relationship of dependency is to entrench yourself in as many areas of the master's affairs as possible. Get yourself so involved in day-to-day operations that to get rid of you would cause chaos. Meanwhile, you will also gain allies and build your own power base. Henry Kissinger managed to survive the carnage that went on in the Nixon White House not because he was the best diplomat Nixon could find, there were other fine negotiators. And not because the two of them got along so well, they did not. Nor did they share the same beliefs and politics. Kissinger survived because he enmeshed himself in so many areas of the political structure, that to do away with him would lead to chaos. Kissinger wove himself into the fabric of the Nixon administration, making himself too vital to cut loose. This is what is meant by the intertwining of fates. Like creeping ivy, you have wrapped yourself around the source of power, so that it would cause great trauma to cut you away. And you do not necessarily have to entwine yourself around the master. Another person will do, as long as he or she is also indispensable in the chain. This method is effective, but it does have the downside of being attached to one master. One last warning: do not imagine that your master's dependence on you will make him love you. In fact, he may resent and fear your power. But as Machiavelli said, it is better to be feared than loved. Fear you can control, with love, never. Depending on an emotion as fickle as love or friendship will only make you insecure. Better to have others depend on you out of fear of the consequences of losing you than out of love of your company.